Most cheap fragrances smell cheap, but these smell like you spent $300 to $400. And the crazy part is, some of these actually outperform the original fragrances. Today I'm showing you 10 cheap fragrances that smell insanely expensive, and some of these might change the way you shop. And we're going to start with Dumont's Nitro Platinum, not to be confused with Nitro Elixir or Nitro Intense, because they do come in similar dark colored bottles. And this is a kind of a nice one. It's a newer release. I think it's a 2025 release. You can see the packaging's pretty nice. The only one thing about this one is the leather on the bottle kind of spins, so I guess they didn't glue it down properly. But that's a small issue. You have a nice heavy cap. You have very modern, nice looking packaging. And I actually enjoy this one quite a bit. It sort of has a fruity, syrupy pineapple note that kind of reminds you of like a Creed Aventus mixed with a Baccarat Rouge 540. So it also has that sweetness to it, that woody sweetness on the top. And with this one, I say it kind of gives me like Hansel and Gretel vibes. And by that, I mean, think about those kids, they find that gingerbread house, which is sweet and gourmand in the middle of a dark forest. And that's what this has. This has that oak moss dry down that you get with the Aventus, and you get the sweetness from the Baccarat Rouge. So it kind of has that kind of feel to it. But let's go ahead and give this one a spray. As you can see, it's a nice atomizer. Yeah, very enjoyable. But you do have to like that Baccarat Rouge DNA, because it definitely comes on strong here. A little bit sort of like the Offna 9 PM Rebel. Yeah, it's kind of the same vibe. But let's take a look at the notes. A bright opening of apple, blackcurrant, and bergamot, with a spicy kick of pink pepper settling into a sweet heart of candy sugar and vanilla on a woody, mossy base. And the performance on this one is great. It's going to be like 12 plus hours on the skin with like nuclear projection. So very strong one. Be careful how you spray this one in the summertime. So we're going to move this right over here. And we are going to grab our next entry, which is going to be Arabiyat Prestige Lutfah, the Seventh Heaven. And this is kind of an interesting one. This is a clone of Gissa's Imperial Valley. Those original Gissa fragrances are kind of hard to find, and I actually just had to order a bunch of samples of these from the Middle East. So, and with everything going on there, of course, it took a while to get them. But let's talk about this one. This one has a very nice presentation. You have nice packaging. I will say the cap, which kind of looks like, I guess, a crown, is a little bit light, but the fragrance itself, really, really nice and really close to Imperial Valley, which I just got a sample of. And let's go ahead and put this one on tester strip. This one's really good, very strong. This has sort of a citrus, almost like a boozy citrus, and it has leather and oud in the dry down. A burst of Sicilian bergamot, Davana, and pink pepper blooming into a heart of white amber, agarwood, and rosemary, settling on a clean leather musk and vetiver base. And I will say, this feels like a high-end niche fragrance from the Middle East, not a designer. So if you're somebody who likes like traditional blue scents, something simple, that's not this. This is powerful. It's going to be very dynamic. It's very deep, but just gorgeous perfumery and very close to the original fragrance. So let's go ahead and move it out of the way, and let's get on to our next one. And the next one is going to be, let's do this one next. And this is actually not a brand new fragrance in my collection, although to be honest, I don't think I've touched it since I reviewed it. This is French Avenue's Atlantis Extrait. And this one is in the box right now because I wanted to show you the presentation that you'll get when you purchase this. Very nice packaging, and you can see when you open this up, the quality is insane. The bottle is nested inside there. Very nice presentation. It looks like the more popular fragrance in this line, well, I'll just show you what it looks like in there. The more popular fragrance in this line is Aether from French Avenue, and that's in the green bottle. But you can see it's got the very high-end presentation. You got your nice bottle. It almost looks like a crystal decanter or something with a silver lid. Very nicely done. And this one is a clone of Room 1015's Wave Child. And that's a favorite of mine. And basically it's a coconut and watermelon fragrance. Juicy orange, mandarin, and lemon leading into a heart of juicy watermelon and creamy coconut, finishing with a base of cacao, amberwood, and ambergris. Okay, so let's talk about the vibe on this one. Let's move this out of the way. We're going to get a quick spray. Good atomizer, pressurized. Really nice. Coconut, watermelon, salt. So for this one, imagine sitting on the deck of like a private yacht on the Mediterranean coast, and then slicing into a watermelon. That's the vibe on this one, like sea air blowing across your face. You get the salt from that and the watermelon note together. Really gorgeous, very high compliment factor. Like I said, this one is a little bit more challenging though. So you hear watermelon, coconut, it seems very simple and like a safe blind buy. It's not. I would definitely recommend trying to get your nose on this one before you pick it up. But it is enjoyable, high compliment factor, and it lasts 10 plus hours on the skin. So it is recommended if that's something you would like, but do sample it first. Next up, let's go ahead and review this one. This is Maison Asrar's Librae, and this was sent over by Jomashop as a gift. Apparently you guys have been using the codes that I have linked in the description, and so they sent this over to be reviewed. Obviously, the fact that it was gifted is not going to affect the review. I'll give you my honest opinion, but I want you to take a look at the packaging before we open it, and then we'll go ahead and crack it open. Actually, I'm gonna do this part off camera so that you don't have to listen to the crinkling cellophane. Okay, so we got the packaging off. Let's go ahead and see how this thing opens up. There we go. See what it looks like inside without dropping it. Oh, interesting. Lots of tropical flower looking things. Let's pull this out of the packaging. Again, you can see the nesting inside. And we'll just take a look at the bottle here. Okay, the bottle has clear or green tinged liquid in it with a lot of birds on the cap and on the front. Looks like bird mating season there. And especially on the cap, it looks like somebody dropped a bagel in Central Park. Anyways, let's go ahead and see how this fragrance smells. Interesting. So I know this is supposed to be a take on Stronger With You Sandalwood, which I don't think I've smelled that one in a long time. So I can't say how close it is. But it's nice. You get citrus. There's some very light spiciness to it. You definitely get that creamy sandalwood in the dry down. Yeah, it's an enjoyable fragrance. And that's a DNA that I really like. If you look over my shoulder, you see I've got a couple of the Stronger With You bottles in the back. So I think they've got themselves a winner here. Spicy aromatic notes and citrus leading into a powdery, woody, and floral heart, settled on a smooth base of sandalwood, musk, and moss. So I can't say exactly how the performance would be on this one, but based on the scent profile, I would guess it'll be at least average. So that one's nice. So if that's something you're interested in, worth a pickup. So we're gonna put this right over here, and let's move on to our next fragrance. And next, let's do this one. This is French Avenue's Haydan. And again, another one that's not new. I've had this in my collection, but I did want to show you the packaging on it. Okay, there we have it. You see the bottle is nested in there. Take a look. This is a clone of PDM's Haltane. And again, another one that I remember being very impressed with this, but I haven't had a chance to try it for a long time because I have so many things I'm always testing. As a matter of fact, I don't even get to wear the things in my own collection that I really enjoy, like even the niche and designer stuff, because I'm always busy testing all the new stuff coming in. But I do remember coming away impressed with this one. So this one is basically like, as I said, PDM's Haltane. You can see it's got a very nice quality packaging. I think the bottle is high quality. I think it's got a triangular cap, kind of like the PDMs do. Very nicely done. And this one, they basically took Haltane and they took the oud out of it to make it more mass appealing and sort of less challenging. And it actually really worked. Okay, let's go ahead and spray this one. Good atomizer, as you can see. Very nice. So this one has sort of a sharp herbal opening. It gets a little bit more spicy in the mid. And then the dry down, you end up with sort of leather and oak moss. Very, very nicely done. It's sort of an elegant fragrance, feels very classy and high end. So let's take a look at the notes. Aromatic lavender, clary sage, and bergamot, meeting a sweet heart of saffron, praline, and cedar, finishing with leather, patchouli, vetiver, and oak moss. So get this on skin and wear it for about an hour, and you'll understand why it's on this list. Now the performance on this one is not crazy. It's going to be about 8 hours. It doesn't quite perform like the original. Haldane is a beast mode fragrance. And the reason why is because they removed the oud, as we said, to make it less challenging. And oud is a very powerful fixative. It really sticks to the clothing and your skin and causes that really great performance. By taking that out, they've made it a little bit more mass appealing, but at the same time, they've also affected the performance a little bit. But I feel 8 hours is still great. Anyways, let's move on to the next fragrance. And this is Risala Elite Hafla Night. Hopefully I got that set so you can see it. You can see this is a really large bottle. I think this is 200 mLs. And this is a clone of another Gissa fragrance. This is Gissa's La Luna. It's a clone of that. Interesting fragrance. So this is a clone of a Gissa fragrance, as I said. And with those fragrances, you have to know that they're going to be very rich and very dense. And this particular one has notes of raspberry, incense, and cotton candy, actually, which is kind of unique. So let's go ahead and spray this onto our strip here. Nice atomizer. Yeah, it's really nice. So for this one, I would say imagine yourself at a carnival, like late at night, just as it's about to close. And you could smell the smoke in the air from the popcorn and the sweetness from the cotton candy. That's this fragrance. So let's go ahead and take a look at the notes on this. Smoky incense, raspberry, and apricot melting into a heart of gaiac wood, cotton candy, and sandalwood on a base of tonka, amber, and patchouli. And this one's gonna last you like 8+ hours on skin with strong projection for the first like 4 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one down. Actually, let's start moving them over here and we'll move on to the next one, which will be, let's do this one. This is Armaf's Admiral. Again, another one that it's new, but I have smelled it. It's been out of the box, but let's go ahead and take it out and show you the packaging. Bottle's nested right inside there. Very nice bottle design. I actually like this one quite a bit. It's one of my more favorite bottle designs. Let's move this out of the way now. It has this really cool metallic paint scheme on it. It's an interesting color, really nice. And this one is a clone of Invictus Victory Elixir. And it's actually sort of a spicy, chocolatey, gourmand fragrance. And I'm gonna tell you, this clone, people are not talking about this one enough. Really, really good. Put this on a tester. Decent atomizer. Very rich. As I said, slightly gourmand. It has like a nutty chocolatiness to it with some spiciness. Very enjoyable and actually very close to the original fragrance. So let's go ahead and take a look at the notes on this. A vibrant opening of cardamom and pink pepper blooming into a sophisticated heart of lavender and smoky incense, settled on a rich creamy base of vanilla, tonka bean, and amber. So as I said, it has this chocolatey gourmand facet, but it also has like a fruity aspect to it. Even though there's no fruits listed in the notes, it almost smells kind of fruity. Again, as I said, really enjoyable fragrance. This is like a $25 clone, and I think it's just outstanding for the price, especially very close to Invictus Victory Elixir. Highly recommend this one. I enjoy it. I think it's a really underrated clone. And let's move that over here. Let's move on to the next one. And for the next one, let's hit this. This is Joe Milano's Game of Spades Wildcard. The reason I included this is for a couple reasons. One is because it's literally one of my favorite clones. I enjoy this one quite a bit. And two is because it has really nice packaging. So let's show you what that looks like. The box is like, I guess like velvet lined, something like that. Open it up, you can see the fragrance nested inside. And let's go ahead and pull it out. And very, very nice bottle design. I mean, I think it's like a stock bottle maybe, but the quality is just really good. Everything just really works. Fantastic atomizers. Like I said, high quality bottles. And it might even be a stock bottle, but if it is, very well done. So this one is a clone of Bond Number 9's Lafayette Street. So let's get a tester strip here. Let's go ahead and put it on strip. Very, very nice atomizers on these, pressurized, nice wide spray. One of my more favorite clones that I enjoy wearing. And I would say the way I would describe this one is it's sort of a modern barbershop smell. So I would say if you took like a barbershop foam, whether you're talking about Gillette or something like that, like a luxury barbershop foam, it smells like that, only more floral, more elegant, and definitely more powerful. It's a very strong fragrance. So let's go ahead and look at the notes. Bright flowers, bergamot, and coriander building into a smooth mix of ambroxan, crisp apple, and creamy vanilla, closing with ambergris and tonka bean. Yeah, I forgot to mention ambroxan. Very prominent in the dry down. But anyways, very enjoyable fragrance. And on this one, you're talking about 10+ hours. And I wouldn't be surprised if you even got a lot more than that. I made a list of beast mode fragrances, the strongest, longest lasting ones in my collection, and this one was on that list. So that gives you an idea about the performance on it. So we're gonna move that out of the way, and we're gonna get down to our almost last fragrance. Here we have Swiss Arabian's Shaghaf Oud Tonka. And this comes in this really nice box here that almost feels rubberized. It almost feels like there's like a rubber on the outside of it. Very, very nice box. And I think this has one of the better bottle designs. This thing flips open. I guess you call that like a clamshell design. Your bottle's nested inside. And my wife calls this Tiffany blue because it's like the Tiffany & Co. bottle color. So, and you know, all women love Tiffany. So she probably loves this fragrance just because of that. Look at this bottle. Gorgeous bottle. Like I said, one of the better bottle designs. Very well done. And this is a clone or inspired by BDK's Velvet Tonka. Let's go ahead and put this one on a strip. Very nice atomizer, as you can see. Very, very nice. This is a sweet almond fragrance with tonka bean and cinnamon. Kind of can remind you of like freshly baked biscotti cookies. Very gourmand. And let's take a look at the notes. Sweet almond and saffron blooming into a heart of cinnamon, Tunisian orange blossom, and Turkish rose, settling on a base of tonka, vanilla, and amberwood. Gorgeous fragrance. Now some will say that this leans a little bit feminine, and that could be. If you're somebody who thinks that like smelling like a sweet almond cookie sounds very feminine, then this is probably not for you. But anyways, I enjoy it. I think it's really nice to wear, and performance is like 10+ hours, which is not surprising given the profile of the fragrance. Very nice. So let's move on to our last fragrance. This is Bharara King. And this is a very, very high quality copy or clone of Xerjoff's Herba Pura. Now, I'm kind of over Herba Pura clones and also Tigar clones, really. I don't want any more of those, but when they're this well done, I'll take it. And there's a famous clip online where Canelo Alvarez, the boxer, somebody walks by him and tells him how good he smells, and apparently it turns out he's wearing this, which is kind of interesting because, you know, the man has all the money and all the style in the world, and this is what he's wearing. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's a recent pickup, and let's go ahead and put it on a tester strip and we'll talk about it. Nice atomizer. Very gorgeous and much more masculine than Herba Pura. And with this, you basically get, it's like a tropical fruit smoothie, but it has, like I said, a much more masculine dry down with musk and woods. Very enjoyable, very nice to wear. And let's just go ahead and take a look at the notes. Zesty orange, bergamot, and lemon opening into a tutti fruity heart, settled on a deep base of white musk, amber, and vanilla. Smells incredible. Highly recommend this one. This one will last 10 to 12 hours on skin, and it's one of the strongest performers on a list of strong performing fragrances. So next time someone stops you and asks you what you're wearing, it doesn't have to cost $300. It doesn't have to cost $400. It just has to smell like it does. Well, that's my list. These will all be linked down in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.